What's up, guys? It is Monday, January 2nd. It is 9:50 a.m. and this is the crypto newsletter. We're going to cover one thing specifically because this is big. We always got to keep this on the radar for Januaries of every year. It's the World Economic Forum Davos annual meeting, and it's the 16th to the 20th of this month. So in 13 days, and it kind of coincides with what I was talking about earlier with the market. Something's about to happen here. You can smell it. About the meeting, the world today is at a critical inflection point. The sheer number of ongoing crises calls for bold collective action. The annual meeting will convene leaders from government, business, and civil society to address the state of the world and discuss priorities for the years ahead. It will provide a platform to engage in constructive, forward-looking dialogues and help find solutions through public-private cooperation. Then you've got all these heavy hitters here. Then when you go to the event highlights, the first thing, this is what the future holds for cryptocurrencies. Then it has all these other things, like why we need global rules to crack down on cybercrime. But we're going to dive into, obviously, the crypto. So this is what the future holds for crypto right here. This is breaking news too. This came out today. 2022 was a terrible year for cryptocurrencies with the loss of $2 trillion in market value. We can now see the handover of crypto technology and blockchain infrastructure to more regulated and established institutions. Cryptography and blockchains will continue to be integral parts of the modern economic toolkit. By any measure, 2022 was a terrible year for crypto. In all, more than $2 trillion in largely speculative market value evaporated. Millions of consumers and businesses lost money, and perhaps more damaging for a nascent industry and technology, the fundamental trust in the promise of crypto finance, which was supposed to be a correction to many of the misdeeds that gave rise to the 2008 financial crisis, is waning. Meanwhile, policymakers who have been sounding an alarm about crypto's excessive risks while failing to create sensible regulations have been vindicated by not one but multiple large-scale failures. To the diehard crypto utopians and some crypto anarchists, 2022 was not just another crypto winter, but more of an ice age. Along with the broad loss of confidence, economic value, and a market littered with the tombstones of failed firms and projects, perhaps the era of crypto speculation will remain frozen in ice, giving way to a Cambrian explosion for responsible, always-on internet finance. So ready? Cambrian explosion. So this is back from 4 years ago. It says in the Financial Post, this Cambrian explosion of crypto assets may precipitate one of the greatest reorganizations of wealth and transformations of the global economy. It's what we've been saying. It's all the same verbiage they've been using literally for years now. This is 4 years ago, digital asset investors, the Cambrian explosion of Ripple XRP and crypto assets. This was in the Financial Post talking about all the things that are coming to light, 4 or 5 years later, right? Neutral asset tokens, security tokens, crypto collectibles, everything is panning out as it was portrayed to us years ago. So just as it took the dot-com bubble bursting in the early 2000s to hand over the future of the internet to more durable companies, business models, and use cases, perhaps 2022 marks a handover of crypto technology and blockchain infrastructure to steadier hands. We are heading into the utility phase, guys. This ain't no Doji Shiba Inu anymore. We're heading into the utility phase, the actual phase where the Amazons, the Apples, the Microsofts come to light, and we know which ones they are. So while the underlying technology of cryptography and blockchain is generalizable to all industries and coordinating activities, collectively the building blocks of Web3, experimentation at the core of financial services, among other sectors, continues unabated. Indeed, as a test of the staying power of digital assets and blockchains at the core of financial services and other areas of the global economy, watch what the big banks and mature financial services firms do, not what they say. Bam, right there. I'll give you a great example for that. Stargate TikTok, pop over to it, Stargate Ventures. It's right here. Crypto holders, do as thy do, not what thy say. What does that mean, right? I'm going to show you a perfect example of what I'm talking about right now. Jamie Dimon, right, head of JP Morgan, just a couple weeks ago, I was talking about the FTX drama, right? In here, he says cryptocurrencies are dirty and do not hold value, right? So do as thy do, not what they say. Let me show you what he's doing in the background. So the date, right? November 18th of this year. Now look at this. 3 days before he said that, he registered a patent on November 15th And what's it for? JP Morgan wallet. It is a cryptocurrency wallet. As you can see right here in it, cryptocurrency payment processing, right? That's a perfect example right there. You can't trust these people. So do as thy do, not as thy say. And that's a perfect lesson right there. Like, that's spot on. So the World Economic Forum is even telling us now. They're laying it out for us. Watch what the big banks and mature financial services firms do, not what they say. Like, spot on. While the most famous volte-face-on policy towards crypto and blockchain belongs to JP Morgan, they are no longer alone among major financial institutions embracing Web3. Arguably, just as boards and executive teams reluctantly own their cybersecurity and digital transformation mandates, the embrace of crypto technology is equally inevitable, even if the term feels like a bad word. For all its faults, this technology remains a protagonist in the global financial world. History is riddled with examples of otherwise good or neutral technologies being co-opted by bad actors and those ever-present human follies, greed, nescience, risks of opportunity, or outright criminality, all of which are amplified in emerging, lightly regulated sectors and accelerated by technology. Indeed, no sector is risk-free, especially not one involving money. However, crypto punishes the errant at speed, giving bad actors few places to hide. So then we got Discover. How is the World Economic Forum promoting the responsible use of blockchain? So they dive into it. The World Economic Forum's platform for shaping the future of blockchain and digital assets ensures equity, interoperability, transparency, and trust in the governance of this technology for everyone in society to benefit from blockchain's transformative potential. The forum helps central banks build, pilot, and scale innovative policy frameworks to guide the implementation of blockchain with a focus on CBDCs. The Redesigning Trust with Blockchain and the Supply Chain Initiative is helping supply chain decision makers implement blockchain while ensuring that this technology is utilized in a secure, responsible, and inclusive way. The Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, UAE, is testing the application of digital assets and tokenization to improve financial systems. Remember how crypto was born from anonymous trading activities on the so-called dark web, or how insidious global ransomware attacks like WannaCry in 2017 spread worldwide in days, delivered by seemingly innocuous emails and triggered by perilous human curiosity between the keyboard and the chair. Yet we didn't ban the internet or email. The more enduring approach with all breakthrough technologies is to net out their harmful effects by placing technologies like all tools in the hands of responsible actors and encouraging their responsible use. Herein lies a regulatory and policy conundrum with the epic crypto failures in 2022. The countries that enable responsible competition will shape the future. Cryptography and blockchains will continue to be integral parts of the modern economic toolkit, despite the great harm these tools may have caused when wielded by the wrong people. There we go. Deep stuff. Everything that we've been saying, all the keywords, everything's laid out. 2023 is the year where the cream rises to the top. That's for sure. And we're already starting to see it happen. So this is the meeting overview for the 16th to the 20th, the annual meeting. So cooperation, a fragmented world. The world today is at a critical inflection point. The twin triggers of the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine rattled an already brittle global system. Economic growth in the world's largest economies is stalling while navigating headwinds from rising food and energy prices for the first time since the 1970s. The world is facing a precarious disequilibrium with growth and inflation moving in opposite directions. This is occurring alongside heightened geoeconomic fragmentation, financial sector vulnerabilities, including stretched asset prices and high debt levels, and a climate crisis spiraling out of control, which could magnify any growth slowdown, particularly in emerging markets. Unless these systemic and interconnected risks are addressed, the promise of a decade of action may become a decade of uncertainty and fragility. Against this unprecedented backdrop, the World Economic Forum is convening its 53rd annual meeting in January to reaffirm the value and imperative of dialogue and public-private cooperation, not only to navigate the current cascading crises, but more importantly, to drive tangible, system-positive change for the long term. For over 50 years, the World Economic Forum has provided space for leaders to engage in peer-to-peer deliberations in the spirit of improving the state of the world. Never has this mission been more important, thereby finding ways to reinstitute a collective sense of agency and to turn defensive measures into proactive, vision-driven policies and business strategies will be at the heart of the meeting. The magnitude of current crises and the potential of future ones demands no less. So it goes into all these crises. So the basic tenet of the program is the premise that the current crises, as serious as they are manifestations of larger systemic deficiencies accrued over time. They are also the result of narrow vision of systems as sectors rather than true multidisciplinary, networked entities that are highly dynamic, particularly in the context of the meta trends of the fourth industrial revolution and climate change. Therefore, thematically, the program will have the dual focus on looking at levers to address the current challenges while at the same time setting them against the backdrop of attendant system transformation imperatives. So they're going to look at and address the current energy and food crises in the context of a new system for energy, climate, and nature. Then they're going to go into the current high inflation, low growth, high debt economy in the context of a new system for investment, trade, and infrastructure. They're going to go into current industry headwinds in the context of a new system for harnessing frontier technology for private sector innovation and resilience, addressing the current social vulnerabilities in the context of a new system for work, skills, and care, addressing the current geopolitical risks in the context of a new system for dialogue and cooperation in a multipolar world. So it's going to be some interesting stuff. As I've been saying for the past, year now, a big announcement, one that we're waiting for, right, will come from one of these international kind of conferences, these meeting of the minds from all the countries, companies in the world. It's going to be an agreement like that. It's not just secluded to one country in like a national conference. This stretches throughout the whole entire world. It has such huge implications, because blockchain and crypto assets will be the core. It's like the spine to the whole new system that they're talking about here. If you don't have blockchain and digital assets and tokenization, etc., then you just got a flimsy body, a flimsy new system. But that's the spine. You need to have a good spine to have everything else fall in place. So that's going to be it for this crypto newsletter. Just wanted to keep you guys up to date on this. I haven't seen anybody talk about this yet, but I wanted to make sure people had it on their radar. We got about 14 days here. So it's going to be some interesting times from now until then. If you haven't already, link in the bio, come join the Discord, as well as I stretched the free accelerator course until the end of this month. A lot of people loved it, so I wanted to give that to the end of this month. I want to start the year off right, so I hope you do too. So I'll see you guys in the deep dive. We're going to cover digital public goods. So I'll see you in that.